Hey, all right, what's going on, guys? What's today? Thursday morning. Happy Thursday morning. What's going on? Let's see. We've got the Barbatos in here and ready to build it up. And I think it's going to be very cool. I'm looking forward to this. Basically, a squished down version of the MG, which makes sense. But I mean, like design-wise and construction-wise and everything, I mean, it looks very, very similar to the MG. So not a bad thing. I don't know. I guess if you wanted something a little bit different, then maybe yeah. But I think the MG was awesome. So this one will be too. I saw an interesting, not exactly question, but I saw something interesting yesterday. I posted a picture of like all the parts that I was like ready for building this. Posted it on Twitter. Somebody mentioned something about the part count, and I thought it'd be interesting to look at exactly how the part count differs between this and the MG, because I mean that's a pretty substantial amount of parts here with this. I imagine the MG is more. The MG has more parts, but not that much more. But I don't know. So I don't know. We'll see if I feel like going through and actually counting the parts or not. I guess it would be pretty easy because you just like check like the part number. So like on runner C2, for example, it goes up to 5. So there's 5 parts on that runner, right? Saying don't forget the drink. Of course, I did not forget the drink. It's morning, so I've got my coffee on deck over here, which I forgot my wallet, but fortunately, it's the same. I go to the same 7-Eleven to get coffee every morning, like on the way to work. So like they know me there, and so I told them, I was like, sorry, I forgot my wallet. So tomorrow when I come in, just charge me for 2. And they were like, it's fine, go ahead. So, that was nice of them. You gonna be streaming in an hour or so? Calder Studios asked. Yeah, it should still be going in about an hour. I don't think it'll be that quick of a build. Probably like somewhat quick. I think even the Freedom didn't take necessarily that long, did it? I don't really recall, but anyway, we'll get into it. I'm sure we'll probably still be going in about an hour or so. Probably be getting close to the end, but we'll see. As you guys may be able to tell, I'm a little bit kind of like stuffed up this morning. I don't really know why. This week I've been feeling like I'm kind of getting sick a little bit, but I don't really know what's going on. So, good morning. Good morning, Signarly. Who else is here? Ranma over there on Twitch. You guys over there on Twitch, I should say. Opinion on cutting flush versus cutting nubs off with the hobby knife and sanding. Yeah, so I only do one cut, and I don't, like with the nippers, and I don't cut flush against the part. I always leave a little bit and then clean it up more with a knife and sanding. For me, in my opinion, that's just the best way to do it. I just don't think that's a good idea to cut right up against the part. A lot of people do it, and a lot of people would say that it's fine. And a lot of people would say that certain nippers are even made for that. But I just don't agree. I just can't agree. I just think that cutting flush up against the part, it's never going to be close enough that the part's then ready for paint. So you're going to have to clean it up more anyway, if you're planning on painting. If you're not planning on painting, then you can get a pretty flush cut just with the nippers alone, and it can maybe be okay. But I just don't think that it's just not really worth it. I think it's best to just cut, leave a little bit, and then trim it up with a knife. This is the clear parts for the eyes that I'm just kind of cutting right now, just because I left these parts connected onto the runner just so they wouldn't get lost, because they're really small, little tiny clear parts here for the eyes. And I'm just worried about losing them, so I'm trying to be really careful with these. But otherwise, How are you guys all doing today? Greetings from the Philippines. When is the move to the new warehouse? Patrick asked. Well, they're still working on it, Patrick, and so it's probably going to be beginning of next year because November and December are really busy. It's like a really busy time for us. It's kind of weird to say like for us because I mean like for me and for what I do, I mean like it's all like the time of the year and the season doesn't really matter too much. I mean, but like for USA Gundam Store, obviously like around like Thanksgiving time, Black Friday into Christmas season, I mean like it's just a busy season for the business. So I mean like I'm more busier in that I guess kind of more than usual, slightly more than usual. Like there's more work for me to do to help making like some of the banners and artwork and stuff for like the different sales and promotions and stuff for Black Friday and everything. So it's a little bit more busy for me, but it's mostly more busy for everybody else. But like, yeah, if, on like the website and some of the banners and stuff that you see like on for sales and things like that on the website, a lot of those I make. So I had to make those for the sales. But anyway, yeah, so November and December is just too busy for us to move warehouse like in the middle of that time. So we can't. And so it'll probably be January, maybe, if the new building's ready. But I'm kind of doubtful that the new building will even be ready even in January. So we shall see. In my estimation, probably February is more likely. Hopefully soon, right? Should the Zaku be the next PG Unleashed? I mean, I would like that. It would be cool. I don't think it's likely. How's your day going so far? Rama asked, is your wife doing well? Please don't feel obligated to answer. No, I was actually planning to make a follow-up video on this topic for you guys. Maybe, I don't know, maybe tomorrow, more likely probably next week or something like that. But just the TLDR, the short version, and I'll explain more maybe in the other video later, but my wife is back in America now. She came back on Monday, and so that was nice. She was able to be back for Halloween, so we took the kids trick-or-treating and everything on Halloween. Hope you guys all had a fun Halloween as well, if you did anything. Well, even if you didn't do anything like specifically like for Halloween, I hope you just had a fun day in general, right? But no, so she's back, and also her mom, my mother-in-law, also came with her, and it's her first time in America, so she's staying with us for a little bit too. So that's fun. And I don't mean that in a joking way. I know like kind of there's like, you know, people joke about their mother-in-law, but no, I actually do like my mother-in-law. She's very nice. So yep, she's there. My wife's back, and so that's good. She's gonna be starting now that she's back here in America. She still needs she did like surgery there in Korea, but still needs to have some like further treatment, chemotherapy and radiation treatment that she's gonna do here in the US. The Barbatos' little beard part I'm kind of having trouble with here for a second. Let's see. Make sure I'm putting it on the right way. But I mean, otherwise, I think it's kind of like hang on. One of those situations where like I was just like busy, and so like didn't like have a moment to catch my breath. And like now that my wife's back and now that they're here, and like I kind of was able to like catch my breath for a moment. When I missed the whole like first step of the construction for the face. Whoops. It's like at the top there. Anyway, yeah, now that I was able to like kind of catch my breath, that's why like I feel like I'm getting sick. Like that kind of happens, right? It's like it's kind of the whole like mind over matter kind of thing, where like you're just like busy, and so like mentally you kind of just like, it's not like it's a conscious thing, but you're just like not allowing yourself to be sick because you know you just like can't be. But then as soon as you kind of stop to take a breath, then you just get sick. Like it happens a lot. Like I don't know about you guys, but it happens to me like when I have a vacation. I feel like not like every time and not even often, but there's sometimes when like as soon as I go on vacation, I just get sick straight away. So I don't know. Yeah, unfortunate, but I just kind of feel kind of stuffed up. Do plastic kits yellow over time, or does that happen when exposed to direct sunlight? Yeah, yellowing. I mean, like if there's nothing on it, it shouldn't like really yellow. I guess like the color might fade or something over time in direct sunlight, but I don't necessarily think that it would maybe yellow. I mean, it would if like if you or somebody in your house is a smoker, like if you have like cigarette smoke in your house, I think that would probably cause the plastic to yellow over time. Especially white plastic, of course. But other than that, sunlight, I mean, like, probably the worst thing would maybe just be, yeah, that like the color kind of fade a bit. Probably best to keep your kits out of direct sunlight if possible. Okay. Trying to see which is the right way that these clear parts go in here for the eyes. Because I would hate to put them in the wrong way and have them be falling out and getting lost. But alright, I think I got it. Yeah, there we go. So basically instead of a con crud, you get vacay crud. I don't know what that means, sorry. What? Literally just got back from vacation and I'm lying in bed sick. Yeah. Well, at least you're sick like when you're back from vacation. I was just talking to a guy yesterday. Here, there was a guy here in the storefront who I met, and we were talking about that. How he just recently been to Japan and he got sick like as soon as he arrived there. I was saying, well, at least like that's worse. At least like if you got sick like as soon as you got back from vacation, like I wouldn't care too much about that. But to get sick like as soon as you arrive, that sucks. All right, now that we have those eye parts in there, like we should have had from the start, the head is looking much better now. I still feel like the chin piece is not on there properly though, but let me see. I guess it is. Yeah, okay, it is now. All right. Then for the ears, there's a couple of parts that go on the inside. This silver part, which does give you a little bit of kind of silver accents through to the outside. Let me zoom in. So you can see like on the back of the parts for the side of the head, you have this silver part and yellow part. The silver part, you should be able to see the silver part even from the outside, so we'll see that still later. But from this side, you get those little bits of silver kind of poking through there. And then we also have this part here. And let me put this on here and then I'll show you how it looks on the kit. All right, so that's layered up there like that. And then, so even like on seeing the face, like from the front, you see like that dark gray part that we put on the inside of there, you can kind of see from that side. And then around here on the back, you can see the silver part on the back side of here. So that's nice that they paid a lot of attention to like even this armor piece on the side of the head, even the insides of that armor piece you are going to see from different angles. So that it's nice they gave you like actual parts to fill in those details. So once again, we've got yellow piece, a silver piece, and this gray one. Like that. That's on there. Then this white piece slides over the top of there. Is that right? Hang on. Okay, I guess that's right, yeah. Seems a bit weird. Okay, interesting. And the iconic V-fin. There we go. All right. Yeah, no, just like the mechanical detail on the head looks kind of different from the MG, as far as I can remember anyway, but does look very cool. All right. What's next? My favorite part about MGSDs are the eyes. Love the mechanical detail. Yeah, the mechanical detail in behind the clear parts on the eyes is really cool. That's nice. Because the eyes are larger, they're able to do that. Whereas like on regular MGs, of course, I mean, even in like the 1/100 scale, it's still like pretty small. And of course, SD kits like generally just don't have that level of detail, so they just aren't going to put that kind of detail into an SD kit. And typically the eyes are stickers anyway too. So it's nice that for MGSD, it combined that MG level of detail with the size of SD parts and been able to make that detail in there. All right, so torso is next, and we'll see again how this kind of compares to the MG. Although I did build and paint the MG, I should be pretty familiar with it, but it has been a while, so I don't remember it like in extreme detail, every aspect of the construction. All right, let's see. Does the head scale up to PG size head? I'm not sure how big a PG head exactly would be. I mean, I have to imagine the proportions and like, yeah, just the proportions, the design of it would be a little bit different. Yeah. But it's probably pretty close, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it would be similar to the size of a Barbatos head in 160 scale. I don't have any other PG kit around here at the moment to like compare it to. I do. There's another really cool aspect here I'll show you in just a second with the clear parts on the body. Let me just get this section put together here and I'll show you. We've got this part right here. And let's see. How's that connect onto there? Oh, it's not the right part, I guess. There you go, like that. A nice little, again, just a little bit of silver detail that's going to be showing there in the torso frame. So yeah, the clear pink parts, and if I can show you this is the one for the chest, which is going to be kind of hard to see, but there's a texture on the back of it, which is like, has a lot of texture to it. Let me zoom in even more here. Has this texture to it, which catches the light a lot. So when we see this like on the part, let me see where we put this in, and I'll show you. Let me just get this in here first so you can see exactly what I mean. Yep. It's one of those moments where my large fingers make it kind of difficult, but so that the clear part is going to glow or look like it's glowing more just because it has that texture on the back, so it's more surfaces that are going to catch light inside of there. It's going to be much more apparent, especially on the shoulder parts. And this is the part here for the shoulder. You can see just that texture of that allows it to catch a lot more light, whether compared to if it was just plain clear without that texture behind it. So yeah, again, we'll see some more of that here in a little bit, but that's really cool. Sort of like the parts for the double X wings. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Zacharias? Watching from the Philippines. Quite a few people watching from the Philippines today. It seems like, I imagine probably has a lot to do with just because of the time, because it's kind of earlier in the day for us here in the US. So I think a lot of the normal US audience maybe is either not awake. I know, like on the West Coast, it's like early in the morning. Even here on the East Coast, like morning time, so most people are probably either at work or class or not awake yet, or whatever the case may be. So anyway, wherever you're watching from, I'm glad you're able to join. If you're watching later on the playback, then thanks for checking out the video as well, of course. We got these parts here, which are, okay, these are going to be our shoulder joints, eh? Interesting. Got that. And this one here. Evening in Manila, yeah. It would be, I'm not sure about the exact time zone, but I know like in Korea and Japan, it would be 10:30 p.m., I believe. I'm not sure. I think Manila is, 2 hours off from that. So maybe 8:30 p.m. in Manila. Is that right? I don't know. 9 p.m. in Philippines. All right, there you go. We got these teeny tiny little piston parts here. In what seems like molded silver. I don't think that it's plated. Let me take a look at the runner again, because it seemed like it's molded silver, but yeah, it definitely is, but it's like a very interesting kind of molded silver. It is like clear on the inside, so I'm not sure. It's kind of a weird mix. All right, so once we got those parts in there, for this assembly, the shoulder part pops in here, and this part goes up there first, then that in there and in there. Okay, that was not very complicated, actually. Looking at it in the manual, I was thinking like, okay, let me stop and figure this out, but it was actually kind of quite simple. Just pop that onto there and pop it into place, and that's it for our signature iconic Barbatos pistons in there. All right, and then the cockpit part. So for me personally, I'm not one that really cares too much about having like an opening cockpit detail, though I think that would have been nice just for people who do care about that aspect of the MGs. Oh, I guess we have a cockpit right here, but does it open on this kit? Did it open on the Freedom? Maybe I'm like second guessing myself now, because I was thinking that it didn't, but did it? Maybe it did actually. We have the cockpit detail here. No seated pilot figure in the cockpit, and I don't recall now suddenly if it opens or not. For this kit, we'll find out here in just a second. And hang on a second, guys. I need to take this phone call, so I'm gonna mute you for just a second. All right, hello everybody. All right, yeah, had to take that call there for a second. Excuse me. All right, got some more of those silver parts there for pistons in the neck, and then got that chest part, which we already put together, which should fit here like that. Okay. And when did we put this silver piece on? I think I missed that somewhere along the way, it feels like. Okay, yeah. Just right before that. So that's there. And so I guess that will be an opening cockpit. Yeah, so maybe the Freedom did. All right. This is the first stream I've been able to catch in a long time. How's the family doing, Zach? Joel, I was just kind of talking about that a minute ago, but yeah, my wife is back here in the US, and I'll give you guys like kind of more of an update in a video soon, probably beginning of next week. But thank you for asking. Everyone had a fun Halloween, yeah. So that's good. All right. And I'm thinking to actually like kind of like what I've just recently done with the Epion, like with the RG Epion. As soon as I was done with the review, basically I just got right to work right away and painting it. I'm thinking to do that with this kit as well. I think I'm kind of yesterday, as I was preparing all the parts and everything, I was kind of doing a bit of early brainstorming about like kind of what I might want to do with the colors, and like possibly giving it some kind of like custom weapon maybe or something. I'm not too sure yet, but I'm gonna be thinking about it anyway. But it's kind of hard to do. I feel like I have a much easier time brainstorming an idea even if it's just like a custom color or something like that. It's much easier for me to do once I have the kit actually built and kind of in hand. A lot of times just like looking at pictures, I can like come up with ideas, but then I'll either end up changing the idea or like either in some small or large way once I actually have the kit built up. It's going through the building process and like looking at it in different poses and things like that throughout the review. Like different ideas will come to mind, and so I'll just kind of change what my plan might be for it. I may build the Hello Kitty Zaku kit today, first kit in a while. There you go. I've not built one of those, but I'm wondering if Bandai will do more similar crossover kits like that, like they did with the Hello Kitty SD Zaku kits. I'm sure they will eventually, just kind of a matter of what they may do as the crossover. You guys have any ideas you think might be kind of interesting? What would be a cool crossover kit like that? I feel like it would have to be something kind of similar, like SD, like Agoretsuko or something like that. Hatsune, Hatsune Miku, yeah. But like with what though is the question? Like crossed over with, I'm not sure. Should you like a SD, the SD cross silhouette Barbatos with Agretsuko? I feel like would make a lot of sense. That's kind of cool. I like how here on the bottom of the waist section, And I don't think that the Freedom had this. Pretty sure that it did not. But where you can plug in the action base connector, you can slide this part here to cover that up. Or you just slide it open like that to show that hard point under there. Kind of cool. I don't think the Freedom had that, did it? I don't believe so. You're actually, after the torso, you're supposed to build the arms and then the legs and then the waist, but I'm just skipping ahead to the waist here just because I want to be able to put that together. So, all right, that's there, and that part there. Yeah. And for our skirt armor, I think that's the right piece, isn't it? It's kind of like not wanting to fit on there. Should make sure that it's the right part. Sounds like you just want to open a hobby shop and build kits. Who, me? Is plastic crack addiction. I wonder what the success of the 30-Minute Sisters, if we'll see Bandai do Gundam Girl kits. I mean, yeah, it's kind of been a question for a long time why Bandai has not done more like Gundam Girl kits. Because they have like a couple of ancient ones, which I don't know if or when like those have ever been reprinted or anything, but you can sometimes see them around. There's like a Zeta girl and a Gundam Mark II girl, I think is like the only ones. But yeah, with like how popular Mecha Musume kits are, and like just obviously Bandai owns all the Gundams, so it's not like it's something that they would have to worry about like licensing or anything. It's basically just like printing free money for them. It's kind of interesting why they haven't done that. I would love the opportunity to ask someone at Bandai like kind of why that might be. I do have a friend that works at Bandai here in the US, but I'm not sure if he would know too much about that. I should ask. I mean, maybe he's heard whispers of it and kind of, or at the very least, kind of has heard enough about it to know like why Bandai's not doing it. So I'm gonna have to ask. I'm just curious, you know, because yeah, it seems like they're just kind of leaving that free money on the table, kind of like in the recent video where I was talking about MGs, where it seems like kind of the parts, most of the parts that Bandai would need to make a particular MG are kind of already there, already available, but for whatever reason they haven't made it. Okay, so that actually should be the other way. That one is correct. For whatever reason, this tiny little part here, the connection ball joint for the side skirt, needs to be on a very specific way, either up or down. Kind of doesn't really make sense, but okay, fair enough. Why it needs to be in a particular way. There's our side skirts. I thought about, like if I'm gonna do a custom paint on this, I thought about just recreating the same color scheme that I did for the MG and just doing that same color scheme here onto this kit. But it seems like just kind of boring to do the same color scheme on the same Gundam again. I mean, I liked the color scheme that I did on the MG, and I think it worked well, but I would just kind of feel a bit bored to do the same color scheme again for this one, so don't think I'm going to do that. I'm thinking actually, at first I was thinking about doing like the real type Gundam color scheme, like the real type ARC 782 color scheme on this. And I thought, no, I want to do like something more original, not just adapting a color scheme from a different Gundam onto this, like verbatim. I do that a lot, and I like it, and I think it works. And a lot of times, it's sort of like an easy way to go about it, because I mean, like, you know that those certain colors go together in that certain way because it works on like the RG Epion, for example. Like, I know those certain colors go together well in that way on the Shinanju Stein, so I know that basically just like cut and paste that color scheme onto the Epion will also work. But so it's a good and easy way to do a custom color scheme on a kit, is just adapt one color scheme from one Gundam to another. But I was thinking about it, and I was thinking I want to do something kind of a bit more original with this one. And kind of inevitably, whatever you do, it's going to be similar to something. So like if I do like a red color scheme, then people are going to say that it reminds them of whatever other red Gundam kind of thing. So it's always going to remind people of some other mobile suit in some way, even if it's not like an exact like translation of the color scheme. But I'm thinking a blue color scheme actually for this. So like every time I think about it too, like to the point that I was just making about that, every time I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking like it's gonna end up being kind of similar probably to like the blue version of the Full Armor Gundam. That's like blue, like a nice like kind of like royal blue with like bright orange accents. And so like, yeah, exactly to the point that I was just making. Even though I'm trying to make it like something original and not based on another Gundam, it's going to ultimately be, you know, looking very similar to the color scheme of the blue Full Armor Gundam. So I don't know. It's kind of unavoidable, I guess, but that's what I'm thinking to do for a color scheme for this one. But I'm going to think about it some more whilst going through the build and the review, and just kind of see if anything comes to mind. Backlog tour video. I mean, like, I have like a lot of backlog at home. Like I don't know. A lot of the backlog that I have is already built. It's like snap built, but there's a substantial amount that's unbuilt. But I don't know, maybe not as much as you might think. I guess I don't know. But no, I probably won't do like a tour video. I don't know. I just feel like there's not really much to see. I can show you like, excuse me, sorry, what I have at home, which is unbuilt, and what I have here, which is unbuilt. The way that I have it separated, I guess, just might be sort of interesting to you guys, just because it's kind of relevant to what you guys will see. Is just that I have it separated in a way, so basically like everything that's here is stuff that I'm meaning to like build and review sooner than later, although it's a matter of like how soon I can actually get to a lot of it. Whereas compared to what I have at home is stuff that I'm not in any, I don't have any plans to build and paint anytime, build and or review or paint or anything anytime soon. So it's stuff that's just kind of like there for the foreseeable future, and I don't know if or when I'll ever kind of get around to it, kind of thing, you know what I mean? So that's how I have it separated. So like I could show you what I have at home, but then like, yeah, it's just stuff that I just kind of have and don't have any particular plans for. What I have here is probably more interesting because it's stuff that you would be seeing hopefully sooner, but still there's still a long line, so there's still quite a lot of time to wait for a lot of that stuff. And then I really like the Ecoplot colors. The Ecoplot is usually just kind of like black, right? I mean, doesn't really do a whole lot for me. But I don't know, maybe doing like kind of a... On that note, maybe doing something like kind of black kind of color scheme on this might be kind of cool. I wanted to do one for a long time where you make it just like all black kind of thing, but I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a waste for a kit like this. I don't know, there's so much detail and stuff on it, and I feel like a lot of the detail would kind of be lost if there's too much of it's all in black. You could, I mean, it wouldn't obviously all just be like straight up pitch black, so it wouldn't be entirely losing all the details, but I don't know. On the one hand, I think it might be kind of cool. On the other hand, I think it might be a bit of a waste. So I don't know. I'll think about that, but something like that, something stylish in that way, I think would be cool for this design. But I think like a brighter color would be kind of nice to see too. Kind of interesting how we actually have a moving knee armor piece on this. Even the MG didn't really have that, did it? But this piece for the knee actually moves? That's new, isn't it? Alright. These parts here for the side of the leg. Cute stubby little legs here. And yeah, that's it. Wow. Very short and chunky little legs. Now I think that the way the legs plug into there does have a bit of a trick to it, no? No, okay. They just go straight in. The arms do, though. So the arms have a locking mechanism for their connection, where you have to like plug them on upside down and then turn it 180 degrees to lock the arms into place. The legs are cute. All right, you're kind of describing the Midnight Coat MGX. Kind of, yeah, like with the black color scheme, yeah. I mean, like it wouldn't, like I said, it wouldn't be pure black. It'd be like a mix of dark grays, kind of like also like what we saw with the black version of the Metal Gear Rex. How like the inner frame is like a dark brown, and then the main color is like a dark blue. And then it has like accents of like dark green, almost black in those colors. Something like that. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Or just like a kind of like low visibility color scheme. Something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about it. But I think the bright colors I think would be nice. Let's see. Alright. So build up this other leg here and then move to the arms. Kind of going backwards a little bit here in the manual. Early morning? Yeah, I mean, like, it's not that early. It's now almost 10 a.m. Not terribly early. It is early for a live stream, typically, like recently. I'm live streaming, like, in the afternoon. Mid-afternoon. So, yeah, it's early. Just because I, number one, just have other stuff to do today and just kind of wanted to get this done out of the way for today, and I'll work on the review probably tomorrow, and we'll have that out to you guys by the weekend. Where's this white piece? There it is. Okay, for the foot, and now for the leg. All right, Love and respect from Dubai. Wish you had a better camera at 60 frames. Looks awesome. Yeah, sorry about the live stream quality. I know it's not the best, but yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. Something to look into, I guess. Alright. These parts here. What do you guys think about this kit in general? I mean, like, aside from how good the kit is, which, I mean, I'm sure we can all just assume that the kit's going to be good. I mean, my experience with it so far, it's been good, and I assumed just because of the freedom was so nice that the kit was good. But I mean, like, in general, the MGSD line and also just kind of the Barbatos in the line. Are you guys excited? I mean, I guess if you're watching a live stream, you're probably at least a little bit excited about the kit, but are you excited about the kit? Like, do you like the concept of this line in general? Do you like the Barbatos as a release in this line, or like, would you have preferred something different? I'm sure everybody has a wish list of things they would have liked to have seen in a line like this, or would like to see in the future. I think it's probably only a matter of time until we have an MGSD unicorn. It's very likely, as well as an RX-78 too. I mean, I think with any line, it's kind of only a matter of time until we have an RX-78 too out in the line, which I think will be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Just kind of will be interesting to see what it will be based off. I think it'll probably be based off of, like, design-wise, similar to like the 3.0 Gundam in terms of its design. But MGSD Tequila, yeah. MGSD SD lineup are always an acquired taste. I mean, like, yeah, I like the fact that in terms of, like, the proportions, it's much more closer to, like, the SD cross silhouette. The limbs aren't, like, super duper short, and it doesn't have, like, the cute aspect of, like, some of the other SD kits with, like, the cute eyes. So it's very similar to, like, the SD cross silhouette. I like that. Well, love an MG Grimger, but I doubt it'll happen. It's too simple. I mean, like, I don't know if it's the fact that it's just too simple. I think it's just, I don't know. Think about all the popular designs from Iron Blood Orphans that haven't had an MG yet. They've only made the Barbatos so far, so I think the Grimger would probably be too far down the list in order to make an MG. But I would love it as well. I don't think it's unlikely due to it being too simple. I think it's just not popular enough. MGSD Kashatra, I think, would be a great option as well. Kind of one way to get around the weight challenges of that is to just kind of shrink it down, just make it kind of more compact. I think that would make a lot of sense. So far, though, I mean, like, just from what we can see with the line, just after 2 releases, is that it's kept to just, like, the very, very popular lead Gundams from series, with the Freedom and the Barbatos now. So the Kshatriya being a kind of, like, it's not even the main antagonist of that series, being like a secondary antagonist mobile suit from Unicorn. I think it's less likely to have get a release in this line, but I think it would make a lot of sense. I mean, it would be cool. I'd love it. Yeah. Next MG from IBO would be Vidar, I would imagine. Yeah, I mean, I think that's one that probably makes a lot of sense, yeah. I think we're going to get a Unicorn, RX-78-2, or Ariel next. Ariel would also make a lot of sense, I feel like, for this line. Probably would have made a lot of sense to be the second release in the line, just while Witch Mercury is still very hot, right? MGSD Caliban, yeah, that could also work a lot, I think, well too. So yeah, like one of those, something from Witch from Mercury. Yeah, try to capitalize on it as much as possible while it's still like very hot and fresh in people's minds. The longer they wait, kind of probably the less excitement they'll be able to draw for it, but it'll still be popular. I mean, no matter what. But that is a good call, I feel like. So with this clear part here in the shoulder, like I was telling you about, with how it has a texture underneath to catch the light more, and then it also has a silver piece on the back, so it should glow like really nice and bright here in the shoulder, which will look nice. I'd just be happy if they give us any MG IBO. I would love if it was up to me, I would love an MG Graze. If we're talking like anything from IBO, I would love a Graze, but yeah, I don't know. All right, this should click. Okay, and then what's next? All right. All right. Interesting. Hmm. How's that part going there? Interesting detail up underneath this yellow part here on the shoulder armor there as well. Because the arms and especially the shoulders are quite large, you can definitely tell like there's a lot of attention been paid to like the way the parts go together here on the arms, just to add like a lot of color separation, a lot of parts and details here onto the shoulders, because they're going to be a very prominent aspect of the kit. But this part I can't. Okay, there we go. Couldn't seem to quite figure out how that goes in there at first, but there we go. So yeah, quite a lot going on there with the shoulders there. Do you think we'll get some MGSD of actual SD characters? That would be interesting, like the Command Gundam, or like I think that would probably be the most likely candidate, or like the Night Gundam or something like that. That would be really cool. Of the Night Gundam, yeah. Or like I mean, I would love a Cascade, but I would really love an actual like RE100 or HG or something like that of the Cascade. I would prefer in like regular proportions, but considering that that's a design, that's an SD design originally, that could be a candidate, but I just think it's very unlikely. It's just such an obscure design. The fact that it got an SDCS release, I think, is like amazing enough. It's very unlikely it would get a MGSD. Just think there's just no way it has the popularity enough to warrant that. Okay. Oh man, even this little teeny piston detail part has an upside and a downside specifically you have to be careful of. So I will say one thing that's definitely apparent with this, which I was expecting, but I can now confirm, is that definitely the frame, just like with the MG, is like relatively complex. as you would imagine, just like for the design, I mean, like it's a design that's like pretty heavily reliant on like the frame being a part of the overall look of the Gundam, right? So the frame like has to be pretty well thought out. Everything, but yeah, I mean, even like with all the moving parts and details and everything on the frame, seems like there's quite a lot going on with this one. Even this teeny tiny Chisai scale. That said, okay, this part goes on here, and this part here for the front. The only thing I'm worried about painting this kit is going to be all the hidden little mold lines around everywhere. It's going to be a challenge to kind of tackle. So I think what I'm going to do is employ a strategy of surfacer on the finished kit before disassembling it, and I'll talk more about that later in the video, I think. Oh yeah, actually, I'm gonna work on the review tomorrow, but you guys won't see it until later, because actually what I want to do, on the note of how I was talking earlier about how I want to custom paint it, I want to custom paint it and show you guys that in the review video as well. So do it all as one video rather than having like the review video and then like a week or whatever later having like the showing off the completed build. I want to do it just kind of all at once. So have like the unboxing, review, and completed painted build all in one video. If you guys don't mind, I think that's what I would like to do. 180 degrees, wait a minute, what? Okay, so that's like that. So yeah, it will be, so the review will be coming a little bit later then because of that, because I'm going to record the review part of it tomorrow, but then I'll actually paint it and do all that and include that in the video, and so it'll be coming a bit later, which is fine. I feel like because for us like here at USA Gundam Store, the kit is not in yet. It's not going to be in for a little while. I've got it kind of early, this kit, so when I show a kit earlier, then we get it in and people get kind of frustrated. They're like, how come he got his kit and I pre-ordered and I don't have my kit yet? I'm like, it's because, you know, it's because I get my kit earlier so that I can review it and share it with you guys, and then obviously the actual shipment from Bandai comes in later. So it's probably fine to delay the review a little bit just for that reason alone. But all right, so there's our one arm. Let me put the other one together. How the actual F did this complete bell end up in my YouTube? I don't know, Wags. I don't know. You tell me. But thanks for stopping by and taking the time to comment, I guess. So, I'm still waiting for an MG Lupus HG grunt suits from Oz. Yeah, I know it'll never happen. HG grunt suits from Oz. I mean, like the Virgo or the Taurus or something. I don't think it's completely, you know, unwarranted to expect that we might see an HG of like the Virgo or the Taurus or the Aries. One of those. I think it'll probably be a long time before we see maybe all of those out as HG kits, but at least one of them out as an HG kit at some point. I think, I mean, probably sooner than later. It would make a lot of sense. I think out of those, the Virgo would probably be my pick, and then maybe the Aries. The Taurus, not one of my more favorite designs from that series, but review kits always coming early. Yeah, I mean, generally. I mean, I can't speak for other reviewers, but I mean, like, obviously the point, well, I guess I I can speak for a lot of reviewers. I know that for a lot of reviewers, they try to be like the first person to get the review out, because obviously, you know, being the first review out, you're guaranteed to get a bit more of a bump in views because of that, because you're earlier than others. But you know, I generally don't really worry too much about that. Why are we not clicking here? Something's not in there correctly, I guess. There we go. That's a very satisfying, hefty click on there, but like, the stronger the click, that means the more difficult it's going to be to take that apart later. So I'm always kind of like a little bit, it makes me a bit, it's satisfying, but also makes me a bit anxious getting that heavy click on a part. I'm just thinking like, oof, whenever I have to take this apart later, it's going to be a real pain. All right. I feel the best part of the SD Barbatos is how dense and stonky it looks and feel more savage than the Slender. I mean, yeah, I totally get what you mean. I could kind of go either way with it, to be honest. I like the... I definitely like the proportions of the MG a lot more than the HG. Yeah, the proportions of the HG aren't great, in my opinion. But for the MG, I think the proportions are really, really nice. As far as this one, I mean, obviously this is very niche proportions, so I mean, like, kind of have to be into it, but I think it works pretty well. I did really like the SD cross silhouette Barbatos Lupus Rex was a really fun kit, because I think because of like how weird the proportions are for that design, it worked really well in SD, and I honestly think that would have been a better choice for this release, the Rex, rather than the original Barbatos, just again because of its weird proportions. But no, definitely this is a design that I think works well in SD styling. Yeah, maybe better than some others, but I think Bandai's pretty good about translating their designs into SD proportions and like making them look cool. All right. Oh, MGSD Goof Custom. That'd be perfect. That would be really cool. I would love that. I'm a big fan of the Goof Custom. But again, just with the Goof Custom being an antagonist mobile suit, I think I mean, who knows? We only have 2 kits to go off of so far, but so far with both of them being the lead protagonist suits from popular series, I think anything other than that is probably less likely. So I mean, like the Unicorn, Arc 72, the Exia, what would be another one? I don't know. Anything from like Gundam Wing, I guess, maybe like the Wing Gundam. Yeah, the particular version of that, maybe. But yeah, it would have to be the protagonist from a popular series, I think, is probably what we're looking at for this line of kits for the foreseeable future. Until we have any other reason to believe that it might be anything different, I think that's just what it's going to be. But it would be cool to see some antagonist mobile suits out in this series as well. So, you know, my fingers are crossed, but I'm not holding my breath is all I'm saying. I don't really like the way the shoulder armor attaches onto there because you have to press down on it really hard, and I feel like I'm pressing down on that shoulder joint really hard, and it's just going to, like, if you're not careful with it, you're going to just break that shoulder joint or something, so be careful with that. Anyway, there's the main Gundam. Yeah, let me just kind of show you guys in some more close detail here. The little bits of silver parts of the frame that kind of poke out in and around different areas looks really nice. You can see a lot of the mechanical structure here on the back. We don't have the backpack on quite yet, but you can see all that on there. On the MG, that was a pain in the ass to paint because all the little piping bits I just painted by hand because they're kind of difficult to paint otherwise, just because of the way the parts are molded. So yeah, that was a chore. I may opt to try to do it in some other different way for this kit, different than I did for the MG, but we'll see. All right. Are the fingers like the MGSD Freedom? I don't remember how the fingers were on the MGSD Freedom, but the fingers are separated into, the thumb is on a ball joint, the first finger is on a ball joint, and then the second, third, and fourth fingers are molded together. But there's only 2 ball joints there, so you can't snip them apart. Like on some of the old MG kits, like the second, third, and fourth fingers are molded together, but you can cut them apart because they each have their own ball joints. So you can cut them apart to have each one individually articulated, but not the case with this one. And I think that's how it was on the Freedom as well, if I remember correctly. So I'm fine with it, honestly. I mean, my preference is always for just fixed pose hands anyway. So I mean, it's not ideal for my personal taste, but I think it's fine. What's been your favorite build? Oh, I have no idea. I don't know. It's a lot of great ones. If they make a unicorn, they would do the best to put the Banshee out alongside it. Then they are only selling a different V-fin. I mean, it depends on which version of the Banshee you're talking about, but it's definitely more than just the V-fin. I mean, like, if it's the easiest variation of the Banshee to make be like the original Verka Banshee that we got out, where like the only thing different was the V-fin and the color piece. Otherwise, like the Banshee Norn, you have all of the Armed Armor DE parts for the shield. You have the Armored Armor XC parts for the backpack, and then the obviously the new revolving launcher parts to add to the beam magnum. Or like the regular Banshee, then you have all the Armed Armor VN and BS parts for the arms and the V-fin and the collar. When the V-fin, I mean, and it's not just like one piece, it's like 3 or 4 pieces that kind of go together to make the V-fin. I think they'll make a unicorn. They make, I think they will make unicorn. I think it's so they can make 3 in 1. I mean, yeah, the unicorn is great for Bandai because it's a popular design that a lot of people love, and yeah, that they can remake different variants of it very easily. The Banshee and the Phoenix, and the Banshee Norn, and the Perfectibility, and the narrative version of the Phoenix, etc., etc. So yeah, here's a good reason why Bandai likes to make unicorn kits. So it is very likely that we will see a unicorn out in this line. And it just makes sense. And it's a popular design. Alright. But the mold for the rest of the kit would be the same. I mean, yeah, the mold, if you're talking about like for the unicorn, yeah, the majority of the kit is the same, sure. Never been a big fan of the Barbatos' backpack, to be honest. I find it just kind of a bit boring compared to the rest of the design. making some or doing some kind of like custom backpack or something, giving it a backpack from a different kit or something along those lines, I think could be kind of cool, something to look into. That's 10-1, and then let's see. This part here. What the? Okay, that's like that. What the? Oh, I had it upside down. Just thinking like, oh, why is this not fitting in here? It's upside down. That's why. Okay. All right, then these parts go in here. And hopefully, I'm going to find out in about 5 seconds here. I'm hoping that the backpack connection is just like kind of a standard size for like the HG backpack connections of just like the 2-peg backpack connectors you see on like a lot of HG kits. Ideally, it's like that, and that would make it very easy to just swap out a different backpack. But it doesn't quite look like it. It looks like it's a little bit different. Let's see, do I have another HG kit around that I could test that out with? Oh, yeah, here, hang on, let me grab this. The Lightning Back Weapon System Mark III. Actually, this has a different backpack connector, doesn't it? Now that I think about it. This has just a single peg, so that's not going to work. I need something different. It's another backpack part I could use. Oh, I think... Hang on. I've got plenty of stuff around that will work. So let's see. Let's try this guy. Okay. Don't think that's gonna work either. Anyway, no, I don't think that this is using the same backpack connection. One more thing I want to try. This is a custom Barbatos build that I was working on. That's actually just about ready for paint. So I'm gonna come back and work on this soon. So here I have the Barbatos. I was trying to pull off the backpack and completely got that off there, but just seeing if parts from like HG backpack now, so that won't fit on there. It is a little bit different. The pegs are wider on this, so using a backpack from like an HG kit would not work without modifying it. All right, so now we know. If I can get this back together. Actually, might as well just leave this disassembled because, like I said, it's pretty much ready for paint. So I'm gonna have to disassemble it again soon anyway. Just kind of iron out the details on this. I'm gonna be painting this guy up. It's a Barbatos with like a mix of different parts. And on like a lot of the pointy bits, I squared them off. So like the pointy knees and where else I swapped out the side skirt pieces, pointy bits on like the feet, the armor, front and back of the foot armor are different. This is a number of different just kind of small modifications I made to this Barbatos kit. Gave it the kind of Astroth's folding longsword. Anyway, yeah, little side project I had that's just kind of fallen by the wayside. All right, question planning to do more SMP like Gurren Lagann or any SMP kits. No, I don't think so. You missed the whole build. I know this is wishful thinking, MGSD Evangelion. That would be really cool. No, I think that's a really, really good idea, actually. Commander Cody. Oh, just arrived on the stream. What did I miss? Yeah, he missed pretty much everything. I have the weapons left, and that's about it. Sorry to say. But in terms of what you've missed, I mean, you've missed a lot of kind of brainstorming about what I'm thinking I might want to do with this. A nice Tekkaden. Oh, I actually didn't even... This was totally unintentional that I wore my Tekkaden shirt today. That's funny. That was not on purpose, but yeah. Perfect shirt for today's build, isn't it? Did not even think about that. That's funny. Do you recommend nail polish for tightening IBO kits? That absolutely can work, yeah. Just make sure that it's good and like dry before you put something back together, just to not make a mess. And I would recommend just using like a clear polish too, I mean, rather than something colored. You may notice here on all these weapons parts, there's something a little different, and that would be this weapon here. This is actually a Kotobukiya MSG parts weapon that I'm thinking might be a good fit for this. But so I pulled this out, and I'm thinking this might go well with our Barbatos here, giving it a custom sword. And I actually, now that I have the kit built, I can see how it's going to actually look with the kit, and I think it actually works pretty well. Having this big sword here. It's going to be a little bit precarious to get it to fit in the hand, and I might actually have to like modify the handle or something a bit. But having this big sword like that, checking it alongside the Barbatos's sword, they're very similar in size. I mean, so it's kind of like just the perfect size for this kit. I mean, it's big, but it's supposed to be big, right? So that might actually be a good fit. I'm gonna kind of keep that in mind over there. Looks like a Cloudbuster sword. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the sword and the mace are going to be a little bit simpler. The sword especially is just like one piece, but the cannon here, the smoothbore gun, it's going to be the more complicated weapon to build. There's quite a few parts here for this. All right. We've got this part here. I want to make sure that I'm putting this on the right way too. It's on there like that. And then also slide all the way down. That part there. And like that. Okay. Cloud Barbatos Strife, yes. That Buster Sword reminds me of a custom I saw on Twitter a while back. Yeah, that's the other thing I was planning on doing, was taking a look at some other custom builds just for some ideas. It's kind of never hurts to look around, see what other people have done. Kind of help me out with ideas of what I might want to do with mine, and also to just kind of be aware of what other people have done, because I like to, if and whenever possible, you know, make mine to be something original and something that's not been done before. So if I like have an idea that I think might be kind of cool, and then I come across there's a custom build or at least just even like a color scheme where somebody else has already done it and like the exact color scheme that I was thinking of or something, and then I might want to do something different. But yeah, I'm gonna look around at some other ideas for this. Really hard to tell which way is the correct way for that clear piece to go in there, but I think I got it right. It fits in there anyway. And it's closed up. And here. Huh. Well, I do kind of like the design for the smoothbore gun here in SD style. I don't think, is that supposed to be like that? Oh, it's for when it's folded up there like that. It is kind of cool in SD style, I guess I have to say. For the sword, it's very simple. It is actually more than one piece. I was wrong. I forgot that there's a couple of white pieces here on it. You could just have it as just the one piece and not put these white parts on there, I guess, but those go on there like that. And for the mace, this is a little bit different. So we've got that on there. This part here. Then what? Okay, well that doesn't really want to stay there. So let's see. Tricky seeing like what's going on with this. What? Hang on. The way that the blade parts fit onto here is kind of weird. They all kind of look the same, but they're slightly different. Okay, there we go. Okay. These parts also don't really stay together very well. So you kind of have to hold it together carefully while everything's just kind of falling apart. Which is always annoying. That's on there like that. And then what? And we can close it up, I guess. Okay. All right. And there's supposed to be a gap there. Okay. Huh. Ah. Okay. It's very interesting. All right. I'll show you guys here in just a second. Sorry. The construction for this seems like overly complicated, but I'm now kind of seeing the reason for the madness. So let me get this all put together and I'll show you guys what I mean. The way that the parts kind of expand out is very interesting. All right, and there's not a whole lot of explanation. Let's see. Okay. It's kind of cool. And there's not really too much, like explanation about this. Like it gets like right to the end of the manual, and then it doesn't actually like show you how this is meant to work. But Let me just see. So if you take a look at the mace part here, and I'm a little bit too close there. And when you push this up, it kind of expands all four sides out at once to have it expanded there like that. And you have to pull this back, and you can press these back in like that so it's closed up. And when you push it, I'm going to make this, hopefully you guys can see, that expands them out a little bit there like that. Very interesting. And also pushes the spike up a little bit there. Okay, so yeah, that's it. And we have a couple of connector pieces there for connecting the weapons onto the backpack. But that's it. Very interesting indeed. Okay. I gotta say, it's impressive for sure. Really nice. Definitely one that I don't know if it's just like because this is the second one where, like, after building the Freedom Gundam, I was really impressed with that. And maybe just because this is the second time around, like, it's not quite as impressive, or just the fact that it's very similar to the MG, although there is a lot of differences, but just, I mean, like, there's a lot of similarities as well. I'm not like as blown away by it as I was like with the Freedom Gundam, but it's really nice, I will say, and very solid feeling. I mean, I feel like I could pretty much like throw this across the room and it would be totally fine. I'm not going to try it right now before the review, but maybe afterwards or during the review. But it's a really solid little kit, obviously. We'll see how well it's able to pose and do different poses and things in the review. I like the added articulation there in the knee. It's kind of a cool new little feature that we haven't seen on any version of the Barbatos before. And of course, all the familiar inner frame details and everything that we have inside there is all there. So very cool indeed. Yeah, and all the little armor cutouts, something that we've also kind of come to expect with a lot of the more recent MGs, especially. All the little bits where you're seeing bits of frame coming and poking out through the armor. But it all looks really nice here on this design as well. So awesome kit, really cool. Check it out, guys. That's gonna be it for today's live stream, morning live stream. Thanks for coming and hanging out and checking this one out. Like I said, I'll be working on the review tomorrow, but then I want to also be able to show you guys the painted build in the same video. So the review will then, you guys won't actually see the review for probably another week or so after that, so that I can actually show it to you painted in the same video. So I'll need a little bit more extra time for that. But yeah, the TLDR is that it's a really cool kit, definitely. And I've seen people kind of generally with this release and the Freedom as well, kind of complaining about the pricing of it, saying that like $50 for an SD is crazy. But I mean, that it really is more of an MG than an SD. I mean, yeah, it has the proportions and design kind of similar to an SD, but I think it's better to think of it as an MG with SD proportions rather than the other way around, and because that's what it feels like. And then I think the price makes a lot more sense in that case. So I think the price is, for these is absolutely justified. Yeah, just don't think of it as an SD kit. Think of it as an MG with SD proportions, and I think it makes perfect sense. Otherwise, yeah, let me know what you guys think about it. And that's gonna be it for today. So thank you guys so much for hanging out, and I'll see y'all again very soon. Probably won't be any other live stream this week because today's Thursday, so we just have tomorrow. And I don't have anything planned for live streaming tomorrow, but next week there'll be something more. I'll let you guys know. So till then, have a great weekend, guys. See you later. Bye bye.